Hello everyone! On today's show, we discuss my status and my push to finish Jedi Survivor this week, as well as some chill vibes, interesting ideas for updates to the streams, and more. See ya after the bump. Alright, good morning everyone. It is still the weekend, although we're in the home stretch of that. Today is Sunday, the 28th of May, 2023. Of course, I'm DSP, and I welcome you here to the show. Well, halfway through the streaming week, correct? And so it is time for us to kind of sit down and assess exactly where we are. Today, we're back to a full day of gameplay streaming, which is always great. I do enjoy the departure from gameplay that I usually do once a week for my React Day on Saturdays. But now that's going to change next week with the release of Street Fighter 6. The React Day is actually going to be Sunday. And now we're in that full court press to get as much progress as we can in all the games I'm playing before the release of Street Fighter 6 this Friday. So, good stuff, right? I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. This podcast is going to be way more relaxed. No game news again. Not shocking, considering we have so many big game events right around the corner, including Summer Games Fest on June 8th. And the big Xbox/Starfield conference on June 11th. Yes, I will be live reacting to both of those events over on DSP Reacts. But because those are coming, it's going to be slow for game news. We're not going to have a lot of big updates and things in regards to new games. It's going to be slow going. So, definitely for the next week to 2 weeks, probably it'll be a little bit more chill podcasting until we kind of get to the big news that'll be coming up. And then I'll obviously be talking about all of that stuff. Okay? So, very exciting, and thanks for being here. I do want to say I appreciate everyone who is, here to relax and chill. Thanks to everyone who leaves the drama outside of the streams. As you know, I just don't entertain that crap anymore, and I would say we've had a couple pretty good weeks, although admittedly, sometimes it slips through the cracks. Like last night, I was trying to do my first of 4 straight Jedi Survivor streaming days to beat this game, and we had a lot of idiots on the stream, to be quite frank with all of you, people who were coming to the stream literally just to derail it. When someone comes to my stream and the only thing they're saying is, oh, are there trolls? Oh, look at the trolls. Oh, here's a troll. Take care of that troll. Oh, someone's trolling. Why are you trolling? What do you think they're doing it for? Because they're trying to cause drama to just derail everyone and make them not be able to enjoy the game. And that's sadly what happened last night. I was here trying to just having a good time and push forward in Jedi Survivor, which I did. And last night's Jedi Survivor stream, which was, like I said, the first of 4 straight days where I'm streaming the game. First half of the stream, we finished up the Shattered Moon base, which is the second time you're there, and we have a big boss fight against Ravis. That was done, and then we went back to Kobo. And when I went back to Kobo for like the 4th time now during the playthrough, we now had all these new Jedi abilities. We had the ability to lift or slam or close things. We had the ability to do double jumping air dashes, dash through barriers like the green barriers, and now we had the ability to pull ourselves and bounce off of those aerial like balloon things. So because of that, there was a bunch of new things I could do in the environment, and I went back. It was actually Eric last night who said, yeah, you should definitely go back to the beginning of Kobo when you started, because there's a bunch of stuff right early on that you can now do that would benefit you. So I said, all right, so we did that, and I ended up getting 2 different stims, so that means 2 more, essentially, health potions, or Estus flasks, or whatever you want to call them for this game, and that's huge. I ended up getting a new perk spot, so now I can equip better or newer perks to my build. I got a ton of skill point upgrades, so we ended up, upgrading almost the entirety of the Force wing of the upgrades, and then headed into telekinesis. And this was all within an hour. Like, within 1 hour, I got a ridiculous amount of upgrades. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then the hour was almost up, and my stream was almost up. And I said, wait a minute, what's going on? Holy crap, we have like 20 minutes left, and I've been distracted for an hour. And that is the sign of a good game, because a good game gets you so immersed in what you're doing and enjoying what you're doing in the environments that you don't realize you have strayed from your path of what you were intending to do and having fun. That's exactly what happened to me last night. Like, I should have just been focusing on the story, but instead I got distracted and I had a ton of fun doing what I was doing. So, today we absolutely positively have to focus on the story. We already are I'd say about 20 minutes into the next story mission. It is in Kobo, and we're going through it right now. And I don't know how much we have further in that mission, but we're going to continue with that today. Hopefully wrap that up and then see where else the game takes us, because I have no idea if we're again returning to another world or not. I think we're done with Shattered Moon, because Shattered Moon, it said we were like 98.5%, meaning we probably missed 1 or 2 collectibles, and that was the entirety of that stage. But maybe they'll have us go back to Jeddah again. Maybe, we'll go to a new world. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I'm excited for today, and again, it is going to be a big focus on just story progress, considering I spent an hour last night with all these upgrades. I want to see how far we can push in the story today. Right now, it looks like the one remaining thing we don't have is an ability to interact with those little electric fuse things in the environment. Everything else we seem to be able to do. It's the one thing we can't do is those electric fuses. So once we have that, I think we've gotten like every single thing in the game that we could do for traversal and or exploration. So let's see how we go today. Now, here's the thing, all right? Number one, I'm well aware that most of my audience doesn't care about this game anymore. I'm aware of that. The stream attendance is down when I play this game. The views on YouTube for the playthrough are bad, meaning it's not really actively being watched. I'm lucky to get 300 views on a video of this playthrough at this point. And I'm not going to complain. I totally understand why. If you actually take a look at the landscape of people who played this game on YouTube, there were 2 things. Number one, anyone who wanted to keep playing this game played it and beat it within like a week and didn't do any side content. They literally rushed through this as content creators because they realized the game performed so poorly with graphics and everything that they said, we just got to beat it, and they just rushed through it and completed it right away. Or people just gave up on it. Like I said, my wife and I were actually watching someone who plays playthroughs, and someone who we've watched over the years, and they started the game, and we were like, oh, this is cool, we'll follow their playthrough. They dropped it within a week. They were like, nah, the game sucks, it doesn't run well, so I'm just going to not play it. I'm going to play other games. So that's what kind of happened with this game. It's a game that could have been a Game of the Year contender, but because of the nature of how buggy and unpolished it is, it was treated very differently than most people on the internet. It didn't really get a lot of mainstream push. Not a lot of content creators really talked about it. So basically, people's attention spans waned and went elsewhere. And I understand that, but I've now invested like 30 hours into the game, and I certainly don't want to, drop it now, especially when it seems like we're in the home stretch of the story. Like, I believe it was Darth Galbach last night who said we're around 70 to 75% through the story. So if I really just focus on story today, tomorrow, and Tuesday, we should beat this game by the end of Tuesday's main stream, which is perfect. So let's see how it goes. I hope for the best. I hope you guys will join me. The thing is, when the game is not crashing and or running poorly, it's actually fun. Like I said last night, I had a lot of fun going back on Kobo and backtracking and using all my abilities to solve these optional puzzles and get all these items. That was really fun. So I'm hoping we'll have more of the same today of fun rather than frustration. But I am actively skipping content. For example, I think yesterday I found at least 2 Jedi temples, and I said, not even bothering with them. Don't need the upgrades, and quite frankly, after I did a 20-plus minute Jedi Temple that crashed at the end and expected me to redo it from the start with no save points, I said, screw that, I'm not wasting my time on them anymore, which is sad, because obviously someone designed them and put them into the game, but I'm not going to waste my time on a crappy game like that that's crashing, so let's just coast through. Now, the other thing is, there's actively people who've told me they can't watch it, because the frame rate is like this. And when the frame rate is like this, it actually makes them sick. Jade, Willow, and a few others have said they've tried to enjoy the playthrough and they haven't been able to. That's unfortunate. It really is. I'm sad about that because I want people to be able to enjoy the content I'm putting out. And because the game performs poorly, it's actually affecting people. What it's kind of like? VR. When you're doing a VR game and a VR headset and the graphics are not matching up with the experience your body's having, and so your body makes you sick to your stomach. Kind of the same thing here. When the frame rate's going like this all over the place, it can make you sick. So it sucks. Luckily for me, that's not happening, but I can understand if it's happening to someone, why you'd be like, man, I don't want to watch this playthrough anymore. And that's unfortunate. So we will do our best here today. I hope anyone who's played the game, if there's anything I need to know critical about the game as I'm playing it, please, by all means, help me out, and let's let's make massive progress today, tomorrow, and Tuesday and try to wrap it up. Okay? I hope so. Okay, so last night we had a bunch of trolls on the stream, literally here just to derail the stream and be negative. And you can always tell when a mob comes in together, because all of a sudden it's like, oh, look, here comes a lot of people who are coming in who aren't regulars, and they start all talking about the same topics, like, oh, this guy's trolling, that guy's trolling, why are you saying that? That's just derailing, it's trolling. And it's frustrating, because last night I was flying solo, I didn't have any moderators. And here I am trying to push to make progress in Star Wars when these idiots are showing up, and I can't do it all myself, and I apologize for that. All right, I do. What happens is typically it happens when either number one, someone's restreaming me, and so they decide to send in the troll brigade to try to troll the chat and have me talk about it, and so the restreamers can laugh at it. Number two, a lot of the times I've noticed it happens when Wings of Redemption is like not streaming. His trolls will come into my chat to try to give me the business, but then when he starts streaming, they'll leave and go watch him and give him the business instead. Well, I don't need any of it. All right, I really don't. I don't need any of it. I don't want it. And if you come in, from now on, I'm just not going to have any patience for it. Really. And it's funny because some people were outright being gross, saying stuff about my wife and stuff. So I banned them, and then they like email me, oh, how dare you? I'm not going to renew my membership. You said something gross about my fucking wife, you idiot. Of course I don't want your membership. Leave. Don't come back, you moron. Like, what? Some people are just stupid, man. I don't know what else to say. So, anyway. That being said, let's see how it goes. Continuing on, and you know, daytime streams typically we have more control with moderation. And also, I'll be honest, when you're in the middle of games that are longer, these are drawn out games. We're trying to wrap them up this week. The mods aren't going to be around as much, you know what I mean? But hey, come next week when we've got Street Fighter 6 premiering and everything, I guarantee you we're going to have a lot more moderation and stuff. And I will talk to the mods about that too, because you know when I play fighting games, you know that's when the idiots come out and they're going to try to troll, and we got to try to keep things under control, okay? So anyway, I apologize for last night. I agree with anyone who was here. Yes, the idiots were here and they were derailing stuff, and I couldn't really do much about it because I was playing the game, but I will do my best, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more moderation in the coming weeks, okay? Cool. Alright, so now let's talk about the schedule for the remainder of this week as we head into the end of May and into the premiere of Street Fighter 6 later. So, today, Level 1 podcast. Today's going to be a lot more chill. I actually have an idea that someone had that I want to run by everyone. I'm curious what you guys will think about this idea. And really, there's no game news or anything. Today's going to be a more interactive podcast, a more laid-back one. So I hope that you will stick around and hang out with me here. And then it's Jedi Survivor, as we try to do 3 hours of story-based progress, finishing up whatever this dungeon is on Kobo, and seeing where the game, goes next. Tonight on the late stream, good news, the return of Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. I really enjoyed this playthrough. Now that we're in the final third of the game, it's actually the best part of the game in my opinion. It's more challenging, but at the same time, you're now leveling up your jobs to get awesome builds, fighting super bosses and stuff. It's really fun. However, I made a big mistake the last time that I played. Here's what I did. We had backtracked back to an old dungeon. The reason is, now that we're in the final third of the game, this old dungeon transformed into a new dungeon. And the new dungeon, essentially, was a dungeon that allowed you to fight an optional summon monster. So we did that, but then when we were leaving the dungeon, I turned off enemy encounters because all the enemies in the old dungeon were like level 5 enemies. They gave you like no reward for fighting them. And I was like, so it doesn't make sense. It's not viable to fight them, so why would I, right? So we turned off encounters, and then I ended up going to a hidden village, which was a secret area. You explored the village, got a flying chocobo, took that to another hidden area, and entered an optional challenge tower called the Phoenix Tower. So we're doing the tower, and it's really, really fun. And then come to find out, oops, I forgot to turn on random encounters again. So the tower is challenging in its own right because it's 30 floors, and each floor you have a choice between 2 doors. One door is open and just goes to the next area, but the other one is a random mini-boss encounter. And you basically have to do, at every floor, it's a 50-50 chance of either getting the mini-boss or skipping it. So I probably fought like 15, 20 mini-bosses. But come to find out, I should have been having random encounters in the tower as well, and I didn't have them on. And that's completely my fault, and I apologize for that. This version of the game I'm not used to playing, not having the encounters, you know what I mean? That's on me. So I apologize if you guys feel like I ruined the playthrough at this point. I hope not. I hope that those that are following the Final Fantasy V playthrough don't feel like I soured it and I will absolutely talk about that tonight on the late stream when I play the game again, and apologize again and make sure the encounters are on, because I don't want to cheat the game. You know what I'm saying? That is cheating, essentially, skipping parts that should be challenging and skipping that challenge. But good news is I now have all these new builds for my characters. I have one character who's dual wielding and hitting 4 times, so it's 8 hits in a row. I have 2 other characters that are both dual wielding and doing like crazy damage with the dual wielding they're doing. So it's really, really good right now, and I'm excited for more tonight. It should be a great stream. We have 3 more dungeons to do to get the unlockable legendary weapons and then head into the end game of the game. So we'll try to do one of those tonight. If I can figure out how to access it, I'll try to do one of those dungeons tonight and go from there. So that should be fun. Tomorrow, it's the return of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom to the stream. Major stream of Zelda tomorrow, and tomorrow my goal is to head towards the major story elements. Now, I'm still going to be hitting up shrines and things that I run into along the way, but I want to get to the next major story element, considering we're almost 30 hours into my playthrough, and I've only done one of the 4 major dungeons. I would like to make more advancement, okay? So let's do that tomorrow on Zelda, and then tomorrow night will be more Jedi Survivor on the late stream, and then yes, Jedi Survivor will also be the major stream on Tuesday. I figure between today, tomorrow night, Tuesday, I think that'll be a good amount of progress in Jedi, and will allow me to hopefully beat it on Tuesday. I really hope so, okay? And then Tuesday night will be more Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster, okay? I'm off from streaming on Wednesday. When I return on Thursday, Zelda and more Final Fantasy V. Now, the only exception here is if I didn't beat Jedi on Tuesday, then we will determine how much is left, and if I need to do one final stream of Jedi to wrap it up before Street Fighter 6 releases Friday. So I do have a tiny bit of flexibility if I need it on Thursday to finish Jedi if we don't finish it Tuesday. But ideally, I would love to finish the game on Tuesday. And then Friday, this is it. June 2nd is the big new release, the one we've been waiting for a very long time. Street Fighter 6 has both offline single-player content in the World Tour mode, where you create your own character, you go through fighting generic enemies, then you do boss fights, and as you fight the bosses, you earn their special moves. You can build your character up with different abilities and different combos. And essentially, it's a really cool mode that they've never done in Street Fighter before. And I'm wondering, obviously, how long it is and how viable it will be for a lengthy playthrough. Because if it's like 5 hours long, then it's going to be really fast and not a big deal. But if it ends up being like 20, 30 hours long, that's a pretty lengthy playthrough on top of me playing Street Fighter 6 as a competitive game. Speaking of which, yes, I absolutely will be taking all the characters from the game, going into training mode briefly and playing with them for probably like 20 to 30 minutes, learning their special moves and combos, and then taking them online in sets and trying to learn them. I'm excited. Obviously, the game looks great, runs great. Don't know how it's going to perform online on launch day, but we'll see. I want to play this game a lot. So I'm going to be playing it all day Friday and all day Saturday, 4 straight streams of Street Fighter 6, okay? Then on Sunday, the 4th, that will be the day when I actually do my React stream, DSP versus the Internet. So it is getting pushed one day next week. That'll be on DSP Reacts, and then that night stream again will be Street Fighter. And then after playing 5 streams of Street Fighter, we'll sit down and we'll assess what we want to do. Would you like to continue to see me keep playing Street Fighter 6 so much? Because if it's a great game and you guys are enjoying it, I'm down for that. But maybe after 2-3 days of it, we want to break, and maybe I should break up my schedule with another game. Now, the big decision we have to make in the next week, here's the critical decision we all must make together. Do I continue to play Zelda and keep Zelda in my rotation, or do we put Zelda on hiatus and play Diablo 4? Diablo 4 is coming out next week as well, just a few days after Street Fighter 6. So, listen. Zelda, I already know I'm enjoying, alright? But I don't realistically know how much interest it's going to retain, because it's going to be a 100-hour playthrough. And I remember the same thing happening with Breath of the Wild, that at first when I played Breath of the Wild, for the first 1 to 2 weeks, people were really enjoying it. And then what ended up happening was the game was so long, and there's so much to do, and so much exploration, that people got bored of it, and by the end of the playthrough, people didn't care about it, and it was one of my least viewed streams that I was doing at the time. And keep in mind, this is when I had just become an interactive live streamer, so my attendance was kind of artificially inflated in 2017 because of that, and even then, the Breath of the Wild streams just didn't do well for like the second half of the playthrough. I would expect that the same thing would happen with Zelda, where because of the nature of the game, and because of the nature of the content I put out, because I'm not just sitting here constantly playing Zelda every single stream, it's going to get tired, and people are probably going to be kind of burn out on it, alright? But thing is, I'm enjoying it. Like, I like the game. I want to play more of it. I'm excited for tomorrow's stream. And, you know, if people really want it in the rotation, I'll keep it. I'm okay with that. I just hope that people would buy in and come and show up to the streams and engage and support and keep that going rather than them being dead streams. You know what I'm saying? Right now, that's definitely not the case. Right now, absolutely, Zelda have been very good streams. Okay? But then we've got Diablo. And that's a hot new game. Everyone's going to be talking about it. Lots of people will be playing it. But I tried Diablo 3 and it didn't work. But the difference is that was over a decade ago. The climate on YouTube was very different. I wasn't an interactive live streamer. And so me sitting here playing Diablo 3 offline, not even direct capture, versus me doing online interactive streams of Diablo 4 with direct capture, with all of your input, they could be night and day. I don't know. It's hard for me to judge. It's been so long. And I'll be honest, the fan base I had on YouTube back then is very different than what I have today. Back then, it was people who just digested everything on demand, and they always wanted to see the hottest new releases, unless the new releases just didn't entertain. And I don't think that Diablo 3 walking around grinding and me just doing commentary on not a lot going on in the game wasn't entertaining. While today, me doing interactive streams where we talk, we have social, discussion and everything, and you guys can talk about the game and everything. We can, the way I equate it, I feel like if I'd played Hades back in the day, it also would have sucked, right? But because I played Hades 2 years ago, and I'm an interactive streamer, the Hades playthrough was outstanding. So I kind of feel the same way about Diablo 4. Maybe it could work, okay? But again, how on earth would I play Diablo 4 at the same time as Zelda? It ain't gonna work. Especially when I'm still playing Street Fighter 6. The only thing that could change all this is if I play Street Fighter 6 for like 2-3 days and I hate it. I just hate the fucking game. Imagine that. I play it, I'm like, wow, after all this hype and build up, I detest the game. I don't ever want to play it again. Now all of a sudden my schedule would open up. I'm hoping that's not the case though, you know. I want Street Fighter 6 to be good. I want it to give lots of content. I want to be able to play it at length with you guys. I want to hopefully eventually do things like community nights and stuff, but I want the game to be good. And we don't know till we play it, right? So I guess we'll see. But again, it seems undecided. You got some people right now in the chat, play Diablo. But just a few minutes ago when I was saying Zelda, people were like, yeah, I love Zelda. Keep playing Zelda. So, man, there's absolutely no decision here to be made. We have a week left. We do. We have 1 week left to determine this because I'm going to be playing Street Fighter Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and essentially that Monday, which would be 2nd, 3rd, the 5th. I think it's either the 5th or the 6th that Diablo 4 actually comes out. Hold on, I got distracted. Someone's talking about a Netflix show in the chat, and I read it, and now I got derailed. Oh, okay. So we basically have like about a week left to determine. And I absolutely positively need your feedback. Let's see what happens over the course of the week. Because number one, I think we want to get reviews and early gameplay of Diablo out there to see what it's like. And then we can maybe determine for ourselves based on that. But if not, then maybe we'll do things like a community poll or something like that. All right. Let's see what happens. So for now, Zelda stays in the rotation. I'm excited. But if we start playing Diablo, I don't see how I could keep playing Zelda at the same time. I just don't see it happening, you know. So let's see what happens. All right. But feedback needed. Please continue to give me your feedback. Okay. Now, on top of all of that, there is one other thing that we need to start planning, and that's the long-form special event we're going to have on DSPGaming first weekend of July. I'm going to call it like DSP's Summerfest or Summer Bash or something like that. We need to come up with a name for it. And basically, it's going to be a marathon where we do gameplay, we do React-style content, there'll be some food. It's going to be very similar to the marathon we just did for the Fight and Feast, only it's going to be summertime themed. Because it's summertime themed and not just fighting games, that means we could have a variety of content. What kind of gameplay would you like to see? Right? So this is what we need to talk about over the next couple of weeks. What I'd like to do is try to hammer in exactly what you guys would like to see during that event so we can start promoting it heavily. But we need to see exactly, you know, what do we want to do? And I guess the question is, how on earth would we know until I play the new games that are coming out? Because Street Fighter 6 might be great, and maybe you guys could think of some themed things I could do in Street Fighter 6 during that marathon. Do a special set or something, right? But let's talk about it, let's think about it, and come to a determination over the next couple of weeks. And by, say, mid-June, we can then start promoting the special event and get it going. Outside of that, on the React side of things, there's going to be some extra React content coming up soon First of all, what I'd like to start doing in June is once a week, I would like to do a special review for you guys where I review a movie from my past, something that I've watched that I really liked, some of my favorite movies of all time, and maybe do one a week. So that way there'll be a little bit of variety on DSP Reacts, so it's not just the DSP versus the Internet show. Plus, in June, there's going to be many digital events for game events. For example, I already mentioned Summer Games Fest. There's also going to be the big Xbox press conference, the big Starfield press conference. These are all going to be special events that I'll be reacting to. And yes, as long as they are within a reasonable time frame and not like 7 a.m. My time, I will be reacting to them live here on the streams. But likely it'll be on the DSP Reacts channel. And then those will be, you know, streams you can watch after the fact on demand there. When I did it for Street Fighter 6's event a month or two ago, overall, it did pretty good. So I like to keep that on that channel for variety purposes. And I think it would give that channel a well-needed injection of new content and variety. The DSP Reacts channel has definitely dwindled in the last month. Basically, I didn't really do that much with it. I stopped doing the reviews because people weren't really watching them. And I didn't really have much else extra to do, so the channel definitely declined. I would like to get that boosted back up again now that there's more gaming stuff going on and more stuff to react to. So let's see if we can get that boosted, okay? All right. So there you have it. That's really everything that I had to talk about, except for one other thing. And yes, again, it is in regards to the DSP Reacts channel. So I got an email from a viewer who had an interesting idea, and I'd like to run it by everyone, and I'm curious what you think. So here's how I do my DSP versus the Internet show, okay? People who are members, paid members over on DSP Reacts, are the people who actually nominate the videos that I watch during the clip show, DSP versus the Internet, once a week. Ultra members are guaranteed to have their videos watched. No matter what, we watch their videos, okay? Standard channel members compete to get their videos watched. And some of the difficulty of this is that a lot of people are disagreeing on how it works. Some people think that it's too much of a competition. They don't like that. But the point is, when you have so many members, right now I have like 90-some members on the channel. The most I had was like 130. There's no way everyone's going to get their video watched. It's just impossible. Just time constraints. There's no way in a 3-hour, once-a-week show that I'm going to be able to watch hundreds of videos. In addition, some people said, oh, I want more reacting. But the point is that already people are complaining since I started the React channel in February, which people wanted. They asked me to do React content for years and years, so now I'm doing it. That since I started doing it, now I'm taking too much away from my gameplay. So we've edited that, so now there's no more long-form React event, at least for now, so that I'm not taking too much away from the gameplay here on DSP Gaming. So we're still trying to find that happy medium between the reacting and the gameplay and doing it right. A couple people have complained. One person specifically said, well, I'm upset because I'm a member, and every week I try to submit my videos, but I can't do it right away when you post up the threads, to watch the videos. And because of that, I never get my videos watched. So because of that, I'm dropping my membership. To which I respond, I totally understand. When you're doing a first come, first serve situation, and there are people who basically have way more free time than you do, they're going to be able to post up first. And I hear you, because I'm kind of in the same boat. I have a busy life. Even before I was a YouTuber, I had a busy life. And there were always people who had time to jump in line before me on stuff like this. So I hear you. I wish there was a better way to do it. I don't see a way to do it fairly besides first come, first serve, quite frankly. Now, basically how I've been doing it is, if you haven't noticed in the last few weeks, I'm adjusting the times when I post up the nomination threads. Sometimes I post it up after my late stream around 10 p.m. Sometimes I post it up right after my first stream at 4 p.m. Last week it was in between, because I actually posted it after the end of my marathon, so that was between like 8 and 9 p.m. So the times are fluctuating. And what I've noticed is when I post it up at different times, different people post up their videos, and therefore it is different variety for the last few weeks. I do agree that I don't think we should have the same exact people getting the same exact ability to post up the videos every week, and it's the same people's videos watched every week. I don't like that. I want more people to have chance at variety. This week was the closest we ever had to having everyone's videos watched. Although it's funny, because one person said they knew that they posted their videos up and I didn't watch them. And I'm like, they mentioned in a comment on the videos what they had posted. I'm like, I didn't even see that. So maybe for some reason someone's comments didn't show up and I didn't see their videos. I don't know. I felt bad because obviously if they posted up early enough, we should have watched their videos this week. And apparently they weren't in the thread for some really weird reason. And then someone else is upset because the style of video they keep posting up, I keep skipping. And it's like, well, yeah, if you're going to post up lol cow videos and drama videos, I don't want to see that every week. We've seen those. Every once in a while, I watch a King Cobra video, or we watch an LTG video, or we watch something like that. But I'm not going to watch it every week. So if you put the same stuff every week, I'm not going to watch it, you know? And then someone else got upset because we did watch their video and I didn't like it. And to that I say, you know, I think you're kind of missing the point. The whole point is, on the show, you don't know how I'm going to react to what we're watching. Sometimes I like something, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I criticize it, sometimes I enjoy it and I laugh at it or whatever. But if you submit something for a react show, and you're expecting the host to react honestly to it, then why would you then be upset if they don't like it? Like, when you are subjecting someone to a video, you don't know what they're going to think, and you should expect honesty, right? I'm not going to kiss every video's butt just because you like the video, right? And plus, I'll be honest, I think some people are submitting these videos on purpose because they know the videos aren't very good, and they're trying to annoy me, or they're trying to get a reaction out of me, and that's okay. Like, I'm actually all right with that. You understand? Like, some of the weird videos are the funniest things that we've watched because they're just so bizarre. So I'm okay with that. But, you know, you submit a video, I watch it, and I just didn't like it. I'm like, nah, it's not really entertaining. Move on to the next. I don't even know what this is. Oh my God. Someone sent me a really nasty message. Really? Insulting me, saying, I can't believe you didn't watch the whole video. This is insulting to me. This is why your haters hate you and may say all these nasty things about you, and I'm canceling my membership. And I'm like, wait a minute. How did you miss the premise of the show? The premise of the show is that I watch and honestly react to a clip. So did you want me to just literally just kiss its butt because it's your clip? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's kind of stupid. And listen, if you don't like the clip, fine. Or excuse me, if you don't like my reaction to the clip, that's fine. If you want to, you know, cancel your membership, that's your prerogative. But I think some people kind of became a member under the wrong pretenses here. Like, it's not the DSP kisses your butt show. It's DSP watches clips and honestly reacts to them, right? So, I don't know. It kind of makes me scratch my head sometimes. Again, it's that premise of you can't please everyone all the time, right? I'm doing my best. And listen, reacting is something new to me. I've only been doing it now for about a year. And this whole clips react thing, which I've been now doing 3 months, it's challenging. It absolutely is a challenging thing to do. Because I don't know what I'm watching sometimes. It's funny because some people say, oh, you already saw these videos. No, I didn't. Have you not seen the content of the videos that we end up watching sometimes? Don't you think if I knew what the videos were, I wouldn't watch some of them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely have not seen the vast majority of the videos. I definitely see sometimes, you know, some advanced knowledge of what the video is based on the title of the video, but I do not watch any of those videos through the whole way and then watch them again a second time on the show. That's ridiculous. So, I don't know. I'm doing my best. And listen, I would like any feedback you guys could give me on DSP versus the internet on how to improve the show. Someone actually said, during the show, live, they tipped me. And they were like, this is the last straw. Now that you have watched a Cartnarks video, your viewers are just submitting the worst possible videos. There's great videos like Crow B Cat puts out 10-minute long videos every week that are critical of the gaming industry. And if you analyze those, that would be great content for the show. But no one ever nominates the videos. I can't believe it. So they said this during a $2 tip. And I responded during the show and I said, so then why don't you become a member and nominate the videos that you think are good? Because you sending me a $2 tip and saying that doesn't help the situation at all. If you have a good idea of something that you want me to react to, then become a part of the process. You're already contributing, right? You're already sending the tip, so it's obvious you're already supporting. So just do it in the method by which you can actually get the clip you want to be watched. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It confounds me sometimes how people behave. They get upset, but then they don't take the steps to make it so that it could remedy the situation so they won't be upset again. This is exactly the same as someone who tips me during a stream and says, please unban me. I'm like, I can't unban you during the stream because you tipped me. Your tip doesn't have any information whatsoever by which I could seek out your banned account and unban you. Literally, this is a waste of time. I understand you're banned. You want to be unbanned. I will, but you have to go through the steps to do it. You email me with your account information, and then I can do it. It's the same premise. Like, why are you doing this? I don't know. Now, no. So anyway, if you have any suggestions on how to improve the React show, I'm all ears. All right. I really would like to hear your feedback on how to improve the show because I want to make it better. I want more people to show up. I want more people to become members. I want people to enjoy the show more. But I feel like I've improved as much as I could. I keep tweaking the show every week. Like this week again, I'll post up at a different time for nominations for next week's show. So more different people will hopefully be able to nominate their videos, right, for the show. I'm doing my best. And I'm hoping that, the further we get with the show, the better it'll get. I think when we start to get to, like, certain times of the year, like the holidays and stuff, it might be even better because now you're going to have people who are going to be submitting, like, horror-themed videos to watch or Christmas-themed videos to watch. I think that the show will naturally get better during that time frame. But we got to get there, all right? So let me know. But the other suggestion that someone gave me is in regards to the videos I'm actually watching and the playlist they're in. So let me give you an example. Every Friday night, after my late stream is over, I sit down and I look at all of the nominations that the channel members have posted up over on DSP Reacts. They usually post them up on the community tab. That's where they're supposed to put them, on the main channel there. And I go through them and I make a playlist. And I title the playlist like DSP versus the internet for whatever the date is, okay? And that playlist is unlisted, meaning no one can find it. And the reason that I do it that way is because I don't want to make that playlist public and then someone watches the playlist, knows all the videos we're going to watch, and now when I actually go to do the show, they sit there in the chat and they spoil every video, right? Like, let's say we're watching a video, and the premise of the video is that there's a surprise somewhere through, or there's something funny that happens, and imagine if you hit play, and as you hit play, you look in the chat, and someone just keeps spamming, wow, here's what happens, here's what happens, here's what happens. It would be a spoiler, it would be a waste of everyone's time. So that's why I try to keep those videos kind of under wraps until we do the show. But someone made the suggestion last night. They said, after the show ends, okay, why don't you then take that playlist that was unlisted and make it public? Because now people would be able to go through after the fact and maybe rewatch those videos. And in some cases, they'll watch me, they'll watch me do the react. They like the video and they want to watch it themselves, or maybe they want to watch further than I did on the show. Or they want to check out other content from that channel. And sometimes it's not apparent just from me watching it what it is. But if I left the playlist public, then after the fact, people would be able to go over and say, oh, I want to watch those videos again. And I want to jump to those channels and watch. And that's what they would do. So what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that would be valid? Or do you think there's a reason why I shouldn't do that? Should I leave the playlists as... Should I leave the playlist as unlisted? Or do you feel like making them actually publicly listed is worth it? I need feedback there, okay? I wonder how many people would realistically use the public playlist after the show is over, right? No one in the chat whatsoever is addressing this. 672 says, leave it unlisted. We don't want spoilers. No, but 672, did you hear what I just said? We would make it public after the stream is over. Therefore, you can't spoil. It's already public. I've already watched it. Do you see? Brianna says that doesn't matter to her. She doesn't use it, or she wouldn't use it. Genetics says make it public. Is there? I guess the real question I have is there a reason I shouldn't? Is there a reason I shouldn't make the DSP versus the internet videos playlist public after the show? Is there any reasoning why I should leave it private? What do you guys think? I says I would just rather watch you react to the videos. Clyde says, make it public. Sometimes you skip a good video. We want to rewatch it. That's exactly what someone said to me last night. Basically, someone sent me an email with this idea, and they were like, yeah, because sometimes you're watching a video, you don't like it, but maybe we do, and we want to go watch it ourselves, but because you skip it now, we don't really know much about it, and we can't find it on the internet. Could you just leave the playlist? Dave says, I don't like it. It's free promos for other YouTubers using your clout. No, that's silly. Listen, if I'm going to watch someone's content, all right, even if I don't like the content, I still feel like it's legit to at least kind of give them a public plug. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least when I watch the content, here it is, here's the channel. And if it's something I like, I usually say, hey, go check out the channel. But I feel like that's fine. The cross-promotion deal is fine as long as, you know, they're benefiting it somewhat from it. I mean, I'm already watching their content for free. I didn't pay them for those videos. So, I'll at least maybe send a few people their way or whatever. Could be a good way to help out. Anyway, that's what I think. Canadian James T. Kirk says, kind of like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. See? Exactly. Brianna says, oh, I'm going to change my mind. Make it public after for people who want to watch, and because you might skip a video. All right. Eddie says, but what if people see it as an endorsement of those channels? Then you shouldn't do it. But it's not. Like, I'm not endorsing anything. Just because someone submitted something, I'm not endorsing. And at the same time, a lot of the times I'm very critical of what I'm watching. And therefore, I don't know how you could misconstrue that as an endorsement, you know? Like I said, that person who emailed me the nasty email last night is so upset with me because they suggested a video that they really liked, and I watched and hated it, or didn't like it, whatever, and I criticized it. And when I criticized it, that was like the last straw for them. Oh, I'm canceling my membership and everything. And it's like, I didn't know that because you're a member, I'm supposed to kiss your butt. Or whoever's butt the video was. I don't know if they made that video or not. Maybe they did, and that's why they were upset. I don't know. Who was it? Expose them? All right. I'm going to 672. I'm going to expose who it was. It was 672. 672 was the person who emailed me and complained. No, it wasn't. But he's the one who said to expose them, so. So you don't like it when it gets turned back on you, do you, 672? There you go. Everyone says, I knew it. I knew it was him. I knew it, man. By the way, 672, I shit you not. I will say this because it's funny. People are still sending me emails about 672 saying, did you know he's a sneak disser? Every day on Wings' stream, he's dissing you publicly in Wings' stream constantly. And I'm like, I gotta laugh at it. I'm like, even if it was true, why would I care? Why would I give two shits about him insulting me in someone else's chat? Why? Again, am I supposed to like micromanage every single person who watches my content and make sure that no matter where they go, they like me and kiss my butt? What? Are you crazy? You do realize the vast majority of people on the internet make fun of me, right? There's just different levels. There's some people who will make fun but then also enjoy, and we all have good faith that you want me to succeed, and I'm okay with that. I make fun of myself all the time too. But then there's people who are actually like seriously malicious, and they're being nasty people. That's a little different. All right? Did 672 ever say, gee, I really wish that Phil would, go out of business, that he'd lose everything, his house. I wish that his family would leave him. I wish that he would, get a debilitating disease and all his limbs would fall off, and he'd be nothing but a body with no limbs and a head, and his head, his nose would fall off. And, I hope that would happen to him, sincerely, right? Oh, people are saying he said that last night in Wings' chat. Oh, okay, never mind. I take everything I said back. 672, you're an awful, awful person. How dare you? All right. How could you, 672? I'm very upset with you now. But anyway, I just think it's so funny because these people every day try to draw up drama. Every day. Like they think that I'm a 5-year-old who's like, did you hear what Joey said over there about you? He said that you're ugly and you have a big mole and like, what? And this is how people are. These are supposed to be like mature adults acting like this on the internet. They're actually trying to like pit people against each other and shit, right? Like every day, people are saying, did you hear what Wings said about this? Did you hear what this guy said about this? I don't give two fucks what they said. I don't give a shit. Why would I? I am here to have fun with you, my audience, to have great interactions, fun social discussions, great, commentary and or gameplay, and sometimes terrible commentary and gameplay, but that's part of it, is that we just enjoy games together. It's the culture of being gamers on the internet together. That's what my content is. My content is not get angry at this person, comment on this person and their content and what they said and he said, she said, attack this, attack that. What are you talking about? Why would I give a shit about what these people said? Why? What? This is how these people are. They're out of their minds. They're just, they constantly they think that this is what YouTube should be. Do you want to know why? Because sadly, this is what YouTube has become. When YouTube becomes a cesspool of just drama and attacks on other people and nonsense for personal benefit, that's what people come to expect. And when they come to a channel like this, and they're like, wait a minute, but you're not doing that. Everyone is doing this to you. Literally, everyone is attacking you, saying nasty things about you. Why are you not doing it back to them? Isn't that how you get clout and how you get popularity and how you make money on YouTube? No. No, not mature people, not people who are positive people. They don't do that. They just focus on their own stuff, their own community. They don't care about the white noise outside. That's what I apologize that there was a lot of that this year. And now the last couple of weeks, if you haven't noticed, have been quite good. Where we're not doing any of that crap. And that's the key to success, is just staying in your lane and doing your positive thing and not letting all that other toxic shit, bother you. So it's just so hilarious that someone like, I don't know what it is about 672. He is a total target. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is. He's a polarizing guy, I guess. People really either like or hate him. Because they constantly say this shit about him. Like, oh, he said this. Did you hear that he did this and that? Like, I don't care what 672 did. Really, I don't. He abides by all the rules in my chat, so why would I give a shit about what he does anywhere else, right? I'm not here to police the life of every person who watches my content. You're out of your mind if you think I do. Same thing with other people. Did you hear what this person did on their Twitter? Do you know what this person does in their free time? No, I'm not a stalker like you loser. Why would I stalk people on the internet to see what their hobbies are? I just care about what they do when they're in my content and my chat. That's it. You're a tremendous loser to think that this is a use of your life. Holy shit. Anyway, I just thought that was funny because 672 here, I made a joke about him. I realized, oh crap, this is what people will use for fuel for something else for this poor guy. All right. So anyway, that's really what's going on. Next week should be a big push to finish Jedi Survivor. Street Fighter 6 is right around the corner. We're starting to plan for the next big scale event here on the channel, like a summer event. And I'm going to continue to try to improve my React content. I need feedback on that. Please let me know how I can improve it. Expect more React content in the month of June coming up because there will be a lot of stuff going on. And also, should I play Zelda or continue to play Zelda, or should we play Diablo instead? I need to make a determining decision on that soon. There you go. All right, so cool. Jade, I hear you. We actually already mentioned that. Jade says, I'm here to talk and chill, but I'm done with Jedi Survivor. I'm not going to watch that game. I hear you. That's why we're trying to finish, man. I'm doing my best to finish as soon as I can. Okay, so that's what I really had to talk about today. Now, I'll just throw this out there. Guys, remember how my streams work is I'm an interactive streamer. I'm a crowd-funded individual. That's how I make my living, all right? It's you guys supporting the content here live on stream, although admittedly there are some people who do other things like my Patreon or super chats, super thanks every once in a while. It's the majority of people who contribute during a live stream, whether that be just simply liking the stream for engagement, a super chat or a super sticker, a membership, or maybe a gifted membership to help out the community here, or a tip. That's how I make my living. And thank you in advance to anyone who's here today, who chills with me as I continue to push in Jedi Survivor, and who supports the stream in any way, as simple as interacting with me and talking about the game. That's cool. But also these other methods, going above and beyond, thank you for that. I'll be honest, I was shocked yesterday. Did you know we did not hit a likes goal? We didn't hit the likes goal on the podcast, on the React show, or on the late stream. That's a rarity, because a like is free. Liking the stream is like a free thing to do. It's super easy to do. Just click like. That's it. And I know with the hundreds and hundreds of people that are here, people are here because they're liking the content. If you're a hate watcher, that's pretty sad. I don't know why you would sit around just purposely watching shit you hate, right? So you gotta wonder, but we didn't do any bubbles at all yesterday. No celebratory bubble blows. These bubbles stayed intact in the bubble guns. It's sad. So if you're enjoying the content today, please give it a like, and then I'll shoot you with bubbles if we hit the 100 likes. Fair enough? Okay. All right. There we go. Outside of that, it would be great to get any kind of support today, really. And I understand because it's Jedi Survivor, we're probably not going to get as much as normally on another kind of stream. I hear ya. Most people are done with this game. They rushed through it or stopped playing it, and there's not a lot of interest in it. But being that I invested so much time into it, I want to beat it. I'm trying for the next 3 days. So I hope that those of you who are here will do their best, in any way to support, whether it's simply just liking or anything else. Thank you for that. Okay? We have just a couple contributions to shout out to start today, and then I guess we'll see where the stream takes us. So, Lady has re-upped her membership for 8 months. It says, we're all ready for chill Gollum gameplay. No, you are not. No one's playing Gollum. Gollum is one of the atrociously bad games of the year. Absolutely no one wants to see me waste my time with that. And I'm glad that I dodged that bullet because I was interested in it. And man, is it a bad game, supposedly. So thank you, lady. One tip has come in so far today. And is a $10 tip from Tarantula MS. And he says, hey, Phil, what's going on, Tarantula? It's good to have you on the stream. Welcome, and I hope you're having a good weekend. Thank you for your support. Let's get you up on the leaderboard here. Cool. Thank you, Tarantula. First tip of the day. Also, I believe we just got a new member. Yes, Only Iced Infinite just became a member of the channel, and that actually counted as a new membership today. Thank you, Only Iced Infinite. As you guys can see, we've been doing this for months now. We continue on with the daily member goal, see if we can get a few new members every day. Considering that I'm here streaming on this channel all day long today, no splits for React content or anything. Looking to get 10 new members by the end of today. It'd be great if we could. We just got one, so nine to go. Only Iced Infinite says, how's the condo? Would you recommend getting one? Condos... Oh, man. It really depends. And here's what I mean by that. I've lived in a condo that was a really bad experience, and then I lived in a condo that's a really good experience, okay? When I lived in my condo in Connecticut, I was paying dues every month. You're supposed to be paying these dues for a condo association to do improvements, work, maintenance. They literally did nothing. They literally pocketed this money every month and did absolutely nothing whatsoever to improve the facility. The hallways had ceiling tiles that were cracking and caving in, okay? There was water damage in the building. There was constant problems. When it was snowing and icy outside, they wouldn't even come by and put salt down so you wouldn't slip and fall on the outside. I mean, I could give you a laundry list of things that the homeowners association would not do, but we were still paying them money every month because we were legally required to. So that was a situation where it was just a bad experience. If you had an emergency, let's say something bad happened, a really bad emergency, you need someone to come help right away, you would call the maintenance guy and leave a voicemail, and sometimes you would wait upwards of 2 to 3 days to even get a response. Imagine if you had something going on, like let's say your upstairs neighbor was on vacation and a pipe burst and your house is flooded because there's water coming in. You would call and they would not respond for 2 days. Like, what the fuck? So what I mean, like, it was a terrible situation. And by the way, that condo association was 1,000,000% a scam artist, meaning they would try to hit you with hidden fees. They would try to hit you with shit that made absolutely no sense. They had something, just listen to this. So I moved out of that condo in 2014. I moved across the country here, and I kept that condo because essentially it was underwater when it came to how much I owed on the mortgage versus what the value of the condo was. I couldn't sell it because if I sold it, I would lose money. I owed more money on the mortgage than what it was worth. So I was stuck with this condo. So I move out, and after I move out, my aunt lived there for a year or two. Sadly, my aunt got very sick, went into a care home, and then passed away. So that condo sat there completely empty, unused, for some 3-4 plus years. And I was legally required to keep paying the condo dues on that condo every month, despite the fact I wasn't there. I still had to pay them. But get this. They started hitting me up with fees called an absentee owner fee. And the fee was, it was hundreds of dollars. I think it was like $200-300 a year. And they would hit me with this fee and say, oh, the reason you're paying it is because obviously you're not living there. It's not your primary residence. And you must be renting it. And since you're renting it, you likely have people moving in and out all the time. And so this fee is to cover for that. Cover for what? What does that even fucking mean? Do you think that it's a rotating door where every month there's a new person moving in and out and somehow this is hindering the condo facility? It doesn't even make sense. The fee was completely bullshit. But the only way you could stop it was to go to court. You're really going to sue them for it? So I was paying not only dues every month for literally nothing because they did nothing with them, but then on top of that, I was having to pay $200-300 a year to be an absentee owner. It was a complete and utter nightmare. That was one of the worst living situations I ever had. And then on top of that, the neighbors were noisy. They didn't care or respect each other around them. The internet was poor. Like I said, that was one of the major reasons why I moved, was because I couldn't do live streaming. I wanted to become a live streamer, and when I started trying to do it in 2013, the internet constantly had issues where it would drop or go out. And, you know, frequently I'd tell you guys, sorry, I can't stream today. My internet's fucked up. And I had the company coming out constantly, and here's what they told me. So all the internet equipment is in the basement. It's locked. They don't let us down there. We have to call the condo association, get this maintenance guy to eventually show up and let us down there. Then he sticks around when we do the work. So it's like he's breathing down our fucking necks, and we can never get anything done. And then on top of that, they tried changing out all the equipment, and it was still bad. Like, it never really improved anything. So, just listen to everything I just told you, okay? That could be a situation if you're in a condo where there's an association that's responsible for all this stuff. You're legally required to pay them money every month. They're supposed to be doing things like upkeep, maintenance, and if they don't do it, you're pretty fucked. Now, here's the opposite situation. Where I live today is the best living situation I've ever had in my life. This is a community of people who care about each other and want to make sure that we're all being taken care of. So because of that, we're self-run, meaning there's a board of directors that are actual residents here. It's not some company, some corporation looking to just make money and line their pockets with your money. Any money that comes in is to improve the entire community at large. So there's common budgets for things like, oh, we need to improve the siding on the homes. We need to do landscaping. We need to fix the fences that have broken. We need to improve the security system or the mailbox system or the fence system. You know, these are all things that all of our money goes into collectively. And because of that, every dollar actually gets used effectively. Our community is beautiful. It's clean. It's upkept. Everything is nice. Whenever there's a problem, you get a response within 24 hours, and it's always a concerned, you know, group of people who want to help and do whatever they can to help. There's been multiple times when I first moved in, within the first month of me living here, I found out I had a leak in my roof, and the roof was covered by the condo association's responsibilities. So within 1 year of me living here, all the homes got new roofs. First, I got patched up so it wouldn't keep leaking into the home, and then we all got new roofs, which was amazing, right? So it really depends, because condos can be run in different ways. The funny part about all this is, okay, the condo that I owned in Connecticut, okay, probably arguably was worth 1/3 to 1/4 as much as what my home is worth today. Now, my home is very much increased in value over the years from when I bought it 10 years ago. But the condo dues for the home in Connecticut were identical to the dues I was paying here. What? How was I paying the same exact dues for, you know, essentially an apartment in Connecticut as I was for a nice big house here where so much more stuff is being done and taken care of properly? You see? It's a scam. That condo in Connecticut I had was 100% a scam. I feel bad for anyone who lives there because they got to deal with a company that essentially is a scam artist company. All they're doing is raking in money, doing nothing with it, doing the bare minimum, and barely getting by. I wouldn't be surprised if the people who live there come together with a class action lawsuit and sue the fuck out of that company and get all their money back. Because they should. Dead to rights, they should. That is a horrible living situation. I would never want to move back there or anywhere near that fucking company. I would never deal with that company ever again. They were a real scumbag company. You couldn't even contact them. You try to call them about something, no one answers. Oh, what, my bill? Oh, I have a question about my bill. Leave a voicemail and maybe they'll call you back within 2 weeks. Fuck you. So anyway, yeah, condos can be very, very different. I would say do your research. Typically, if you're going to move into a condo, you can do online research. A lot of people do online reviews and share information about a condo and how it's run. And usually, you'll get some really good information about that. And I would say definitely do your research because you don't want to go into a living situation like I was where you buy the unit. Like I bought that unit with a mortgage. So I was locked in. It wasn't like I could just easily leave. It wasn't, oh, I'm a tenant in an apartment and I could just leave and whenever I want. I was locked into owning that thing, and I was stuck with it for many, many, many years dealing with this horrible company. And that's the last thing you would want. So be careful about that. You know, condos sometimes can sound like a great idea. Oh, I'm not renting, I'm owning. But there's a lot of difference between owning a house outright and owning a condo because of that commonality nature of how things are done. You want to be sure you're going to get it taken care of. Okay? All right. Continuing on. Little Crow has done a super chat. Thank you, Little Crow, for the super chat. I appreciate that. It's good to see you here today. First super chat of the day. Okay. And I received a $1 tip. Huh? This is completely false. I'm not even going to read it. It's a completely false statement from an idiot, a troll, trying to stir up drama. It's literally factually untrue, so I'm not even going to read it. It's a waste of everyone's time. There you go. Okay. Arkham, I will check on that later. I didn't see anything this morning. That doesn't mean that nothing has changed. Actually, hold on. Maybe I could just answer you right now. Let's see. Oh, wait. It's not going to work on here. I can't check right now. I'm on the stream. I can't check right now. I have to check later, Arkham. I'll let you know later. Okay. All right. So, guys, we still have some extra time on the show. If anyone would like to toss a question my way, please do. Tag me in the chat so I know you're talking to me. Any contributions come in, I'll give you a shout out. Get some discussion going. Still got a little bit of extra time before we jump back into Jedi Survivor. What's on everyone's mind today? What's getting your Gilbert grapes? What? Beaver Bother says, I love you, I love you. That's disturbing. Do I like grapes? I think grapes are alright. They're pretty tasty, I would say, in some cases. Sometimes they're a little too sour, but I like the sweeter grapes. What's my favorite type of grape? Like I said, when I was growing up, my parents always bought the white grapes, which actually aren't white. They're kind of greenish. And those were on the sweeter side. But I've also had, the purple ones too are pretty good. So I don't know. They're both pretty good in my opinion. I don't think I've ever had red grapes. I've seen those before. I don't think I've ever tried those. What am I outright allergic to? To my knowledge, I don't have an outright allergy to anything. Like, it's not like, oh, peanuts, I break out, or a bee sting, I get into shock or something. I don't know. I do know that I have pollen allergies because, they bother me. Sometimes, especially this kind of season, I'll start getting bad pollen. Just the other day, I was outside walking around, and my entire eyes watered up, and my nose, I was like, it hit me like a punch to the face, because there's so much pollen outside right now. I was like, oh my God. Like, this is a crazy, direct, strong reaction to the pollen. But outside of that, I'm not really aware of anything else. One weird thing that used to happen, there's something to do either with artificial color or artificial sweetener or artificial flavoring. Because when I was a kid, I used to eat anything that would have like a sweet or very tart flavoring. So for example, you ever have Smarties? You know what Smarties are? Or Pez? Any like small hard candy that kind of has that tangy flavor to it. If I would put it in my mouth, it would taste good. But all of a sudden, I would get like a tingling in my cheeks and my whole face would go flush. And sometimes I would eat it and my parents would be like, oh my God, are you having an allergic reaction? Or, are you going to swell up and not be able to breathe? But no, it was just my skin. Just my face and skin would like go flush when I ate that. So something to do with the way that flavoring affects me makes my actual skin color change for a while. But outside of that, that was it. Like, I don't know of anything else that really affected me. So. All right. Would I recommend someone get a fight stick if they're new at fighting games? Asked Only Iced Ghost. It's an interesting question because it depends on what kind of game you're talking about. If you were to say to me, old school fighters like Street Fighter 2 or 3, or maybe even a more challenging game for inputs, like maybe a Guilty Gear or a BlazBlue, I would say absolutely yes. But in the modern day, all of these modern games now have input shortcuts that make it incredibly easy to play. I mean, Street Fighter 6 literally has modernized controls that are allowed in tournaments. So you just press forward on a button, you get a special move. The era of joysticks required are gone. And I think that's because they want to make fighting games the most accessible they've ever been to anyone. They want to sell as many copies as they can. And they figure if they remove these hurdles, right? These hurdles to entry, then they're going to sell more copies and more people will play and it'll become more mainstream popular. I'm okay with that. I just hope it doesn't change the competitive nature of the game, that now it's so easy to play because there's no input requirement. You know what I mean? It's so easy to do every move that now it dumbs it down. You know, I don't want Street Fighter to become Smash Brothers. You understand? I'm not saying Smash Brothers isn't competitive. I'm saying Smash Brothers is not based on difficulty of inputs. You know what I'm saying? It's based off of more overall strategies. And I don't want it to become that dumbed down. It's always had this element of you need a level of skill to do special moves, to do timing of your moves, to do, you know what I mean? Do a 360 grapple with Zangief, to do that reversal giant combo. And if everything is just button, 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 I just destroyed everyone. It's like, well, is it really that much of a competitive game anymore? I don't know. I hope it doesn't affect the game in a huge negative way. I guess it'll remain to be seen. But I would say most modern fighting games, you really do not need a joystick. You could play them effectively on a pad. And even then, you could buy pads. Like, there's competitive pads that perform better than just, like, the standard gamepad for a console. So. Alright, a shout out to Red Bandit 94, who did a super chat. His thoughts on Roman Reigns' title run of 1,000 days. Don't really care. I kid you not. I've not seen a single match of him being the champion in the last 3 years because I haven't watched wrestling. I told you that. And I haven't seen any of these plot lines. Like, I know what they are because, like I said, I follow some of the accounts on social media. So I know there was the Bloodline plot line with him and the Usos all family and dominating the WWE and all that. I've literally not seen a single piece of it. Just what's posted on the internet. So I have zero investment. I don't really care. I'm just being honest. I'm just not into wrestling that much anymore. No, I did not play Sega's Greatest Hits, Willow. However, I do own the Sega Genesis Mini, which had a lot of classic games, and we played a bunch of them on there, and that was very fun a few years ago there. So House Gang says, to be honest, you're limited to what you can do with these modern controls. People who are good at the game won't be threatened by them. Are you sure? All right, think of it this way, okay? Let's say, for example, and this is just a premise, 'cause I don't know if this is how it works or not. Let's say we're talking about a Shoryuken, which is the Dragon Punch that Ryu and Ken have, okay? Let's say if you manually input the Shoryuken, you get 5% bonus damage, right? But since you have to manually input it, there's element of mistiming and human error, so it won't come out. Or, let's say you do the modern control Shoryuken, which is just press a button. 5% less damage, but it comes out every single time you push the button. And it's much easier to just tap a button than to do an input plus a button. You're probably not going to miss this, but you're probably going to miss this every once in a while, okay? Would you rather have a guaranteed hit, so every time someone jumps at you, you just swat them right out of the air? A little bit less damage, but it's guaranteed to stop them. Or would you rather have the move where there's more risk because you have to input it, but more reward because you do more damage? Honestly, consistency is probably better than overall damage. Because then no one will, just think about it. If they're going to get an anti-air, every single time someone jumps at you, you knock them out of the air, they're going to stop jumping at you. As opposed to, if they know there's a chance you won't do it, because there's this element of inputting it first, then they might take more chances against you. You see? So, honestly, I think that the modern controls may make the game easier overall competitively. But if there's more than just damage, I don't know if there's more to it than that. Like, for example, I think what people are saying is, with the modern controls, you don't have a lot of the access to the normals and all the combos don't exist, right? Ooh, excuse me. I don't know. I guess, again, I will really have to see how it pans out, okay? We'll have to see how it pans out. But I'm not sure because I don't have the game yet. I haven't been able to test it myself, you know? We'll have to see. Do I remember the Game Gear? Yes. Did I have one? No, I did not. The only handheld I owned was the Game Boy Pocket, which was the blue version for Pokemon Blue. That was it. And then I didn't own another one until way later, the Game Boy Advance. Am I playing Amnesia the Bunker? Ask Carlega. He says, I love your horror playthroughs. They're the best. I'm interested in it. I totally probably would have tried to play it if it came out this month, but it got delayed until the same week as Street Fighter 6 and frickin' Diablo. I mean, that's nuts. I can't imagine anyone who's going to be caring or talking about that game. I'm just being honest. There's going to be so much hype that week around Street Fighter, Diablo, and then Summer Game Fest. Who in the hell is going to talk about Amnesia? That delay, I feel, is killing the game. So, would I play it in the future? Yes. If we get downtime later this year and people want to see it, I would absolutely play it. But I don't see how I'm going to play it at launch. I just don't see how it's going to fit into anything. Arkham says, Mr. Freeze, great flavors, the goat. Is that a ice pop? I used to love ice pops when I was a kid. What's going on, Musk of Elon? How are you? Did I ever have a strawberry shortcake? No, I never did, Willow. I know what it is, but I've never had one myself. Jex Gaming says, I'm excited for the new Assassin's Creed because it's going to go back to the old roots. Exactly. Shorter, smaller map, all stealth gameplay. It's definitely going by classic. You know, we'll see how it goes. I hope it's good. I think I'll like it. Literally says there's rumors Sony will buy CD Projekt Red. Thoughts? Meh. Let's see what happens. I don't believe it. Brianna says everything about moving reacts to this channel because it's more members. No, it doesn't make sense. The whole point was to separate the content so that there's no spillover. What was happening last year was I was doing some pretty popular React events, but then people would lose sight of them within a month or two because it's all gameplay on this channel. Having them highlighted on another channel is definitely the way to go. Those who want the React content can head over there. And let's be honest, it's better to separate it because that example that you just gave, right now we got like 90 to 100 people who compete to get their videos watched on the show. Can you imagine if we had 700 people competing? That would be insane, wouldn't it? So we definitely, you know, it's definitely better keeping it separated. And also, like I said, separating the content long-term will work too. As I build up a body of work over on that channel, people will go there just for the React stuff. Right now, there's only about 3 months of content. It's usually just a weekly show with a couple long-form Reacts, a special thing here or there. Eventually, it will build up to the point where now people will be like, that's right, Phil's had that channel for a couple years. That's all his React stuff. Let's go check it out. And it's all there at one glance. You see, it's going to work out better that way. Okay. So, I literally earlier on this podcast referenced how last night we had people coming to the chat and trying to derail it. Now we have people coming to the chat and trying to derail it. So, I'm going to be lenient for about 2 more minutes. And if I see people derailing the chat with drama, I'm just going to start banning people. And I'm not even going to say I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it. And then we can all move on with our day without this nonsense. Because I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, this is pathetic. These people acting like this. Just shut up about it, man. No one cares. Obviously, I don't. I'm doing a podcast, right? Okay. Well, I'm well aware of what's going on. I'm seeing it unfold myself, and I'm trying to give a chance before I have to start doing stuff, okay? Literally says, any idea what class I would play in Diablo 4? I don't even know what classes there are, you know? I haven't followed... I have been doing something that a lot of people don't do. I'm trying to purposely stay away from all this information about these new games because I feel like if you know everything about a game when you go into it, you've already spoiled yourself. First of all, you create these expectations for the game before you've ever played it. And on top of that, I still feel to this day, even 15 years being a YouTuber, I feel one of the best things about games is the discovery aspect. When you start playing a game and you start to discover new aspects of it, new things about it, if you just know everything about the game up front, then where is that? It's gone, right? So imagine if I start playing Diablo 4 and I've already micro-analyzed every class in the game and I've already decided I want to be a barbarian that plays just like this and here's my class and blah, blah, blah. That's supposed to be part of your game and you skipped it, you know? I don't like that about games today. I feel like a lot of people, sadly, there's so much information about a game before it ever even releases. You've spoiled yourself on the game and you lost that element of enjoyment, natural enjoyment and progression and discovery. And I like having that. So, no, I'm not going to spoil myself on Diablo. Okay. Habib Gaming re-upped his membership for 9 months. Says, how was DSP Reacts yesterday? I would say that it was pretty good. I like the variety that we're doing. A lot of the clips worked. A few of the clips were honestly quite stupid. But every week I feel like I learn a little more about the internet. Because, as you guys know, I'm someone who really hadn't been into internet culture. Hasn't really paid attention to this kind of stuff for a while. And now that I'm doing the React content, I'm learning about other YouTubers. I'm learning about other kind of memes and content and things that are out there. May not all be my forte. It might not be stuff that I like, but at least it's awareness. It's now awareness of that content, you see? And I am enjoying that to some extent. So I am enjoying the show. Let's see here. Little Crow did another super chat, and he says, thoughts on the Alan Wake sequel? I'm excited for it. I really am. I hope that it's good. I like that there's dual protagonists this time. That's kind of neat. Kind Because Alan Wake is stuck in the world of the lake, correct? The spiritual, supernatural world. He's still in there. So it would make sense that you have someone else who's a protagonist maybe trying to get in there and get him out of there. It would be pretty cool if, like, you go to the lake and you get sucked into yourself and you run into Alan and now you maybe two characters you switch between or something. That'd be pretty neat. I guess we'll find out. But it looks good to me. I'm excited for it. I really am. I hope that it's really good. The Dan Man says, what's your favorite baked good from Costco? What have we had? So we had various different kinds of muffins, including chocolate chip, blueberry, pumpkin spice. Oh, and what's the other one? Like almond something? It has like poppy seeds in it. Whatever that one is. So we had like those, and we also had apple fritters. No, apple Danish. And we've also had the loaf. We just got the lemon blueberry loaf that we just had. And do we have anything else? I mean, I've had other things. Like, for example, I had ciabatta rolls once that were pretty good. Out of all those, I mean, the staple is the muffins, because when you get the muffins, you get 2 packs of 6 muffins for like $10. So you're going home with 12 muffins, and you can get 2 different flavors. So that's great for variety. Overall, I actually think the Danish were my favorite thing I ever had. But the Danish, you don't get that many. You get like 1 pack of like 6, and that's it. And they're gone fast because there's only 6 of them. So they're more expensive, probably because there's real fresh fruit, you know, the apple in it. It's probably more expensive because of that. So I would say the apple Danish is my favorite, but I think the best value is probably the muffins. There you go. That loaf. People like hearing me say the word loaf. For some reason, they like loaf. Do you enjoy a good loaf? There was this one time I went down to the local bakery, and I said, hey, you got any of that fresh loaf? Ah! That was not what I meant to click. Sorry about that. Literally says, you ever eaten a Berliner? No, I've never had a Berliner. I'm not sure what that is. Is that like a sausage or something? Will I be playing the Metal Gear Remake? Likely yes. My nose itches. When will I add new emotes? I can't add any new emotes, Habib Gaming. The most amount of memberships we've ever had here on this channel was around 1,300, and that was last fall. I want to say we had 1 or 2 people who were all gifting massive amounts of memberships, so we were up to over 1,300. That unlocked a ton of emote slots. We've populated all of those emote slots, okay? That's why we have so many emotes on this channel. Now, the way it works on YouTube, sadly, is if you try to now change an emote, unless you have that many emote slots unlocked, you lose the emote slot. On Twitch, that's not the case. On Twitch, if you unlocked an emote slot, you just had that emote slot permanently, and you were free to change them around and do whatever you wanted, and it was no problem. But here on YouTube, you're incredibly limited, because if, let's say, for example, right now, we decided, oh, I wanted to update the Jasper emote. I want the Jasper emote to be a different picture of Jasper. Well, you can't just change the picture. You have to delete the emote and add a new one. But if you go to delete it, you lose the spot, because we don't have 1,300 members, so we lost a bunch of spots, and they'll all go away. So we're essentially permanently locked into the emotes we have. The only way to add new ones would actually be to exceed the amount of members we had previously as the most. So we would have to have like 1,300 to 1,400 members, and then we'd unlock a new slot, and I could add a new emote. I know this from past experiences, Joe Man. This happened that last fall. We were unlocking a slot. I forgot to add an emote right away, and then when I went to add it, it was gone. And the same thing happened. There was one I wanted to change it. I went to do it. It deleted my emote slot. I was like, oh, shit. So, yeah, it's totally different here. Jasper is good, Jade. He says, I love the modern controls of Street Fighter 6. Hopefully it'll make the game accessible to you. No, I have not looked into the game Phantom Blade. Hello, Juan David Ortega. How are you? Jex Gaming says, do you think we can still do a leap in graphics in future console generations? In my opinion, I think we can still do this. NBA 2K14 had the best graphics in the whole franchise. There you go. Literally says, so can we do a jump in graphics? We can, but at some point it's going to become so photorealistic, it's water under the bridge. It's going to be more about overall performance. Enough with the 25 frames per second or the frames per second going like this, but instead having steady 60 frames in every game. That's the next step, in my opinion. Literally says, Berliner is a donut. They're usually filled with jam or jelly. Oh, I had no idea what that was. I've never had one then. Never had a Berliner. Okay. Since obviously some people will ask, all I'm going to say is this. The tire / wheel saga is all done with. It's been done with. I took care of it. It's all set. It sucked that it took away time from my streaming earlier in the week, and we had to talk about it on a night stream because it was such a shocking thing to happen. But we're all set. Car's all fine. Everything's good. All right? It's that simple. That's all I need to talk about. I'm not going to bring it up again. There's nothing else to say. There's no other big story to talk about it. You've heard it. And I got a new wheel. It was expensive. That's that. Done. Okay, moving on. Will I ever get back into weightlifting? Unlikely. Will I get back into fitness? Maybe as I get older. But I don't think I'm getting back into weightlifting because of my back. I don't think I'd even be able to. The villain says, how would you juggle Diablo 4 and Final Fantasy 16 together? It's too much. I mean, first of all, there's no way I can even juggle Zelda and Diablo together. Right? So you're right. I think Final Fantasy 16 absolutely will be my priority once it comes out. I think people are going to want to see it more than anything else too. So likely what'll happen is, Diablo would become more of the chill, laid back playthrough, while Final Fantasy 16 becomes the mainline playthrough along with, what do you call it? Street Fighter, of course. So. When will the React thread be open? Today. When exactly? I'm not telling you. Because by doing it by a surprise time allows different people to actually post up more quickly. Again, if I just did it the same time every week, it would be the same people posting. So I'm literally going to do it at a random time on purpose to avoid that element. So, there you go. Moxer says, I can't wait for Street Fighter 6. I'm a casual, but addicted to just the demo. Can't wait for your coverage. I think it'll be special. I hope so. And again, it's going to be based on many factors, right? The overall gameplay elements. Are they competitive? Are they fun? Do they have throwback elements to older games as well as new stuff for a new game? Is it just all pattern play, or is it more kind of variety of play? I hated that about Street Fighter V. No matter who you played, it felt like you're playing exactly the same style of game. While previous iterations of Street Fighter, there was all variety of gameplay with either, oh, I'm a keep-away character, oh, I'm a hybrid character, I'm a grappler, I'm this. No, Street Fighter V was play one pattern with every character over and over, ad nauseum, wash, rinse, repeat, zero variety, zero fun, always the same shit. It was funny because about a year ago, a video came out. Someone played Guile in Street Fighter V, and unlike everyone else who just played a pattern, this person had great reactions. So he'd wait for you to throw a fireball, do a super that would cancel out your fireball and hit you in the face. And the video was like, oh my God, look at this guy with godlike reactions. And I'm watching, I'm like, listen, I give the guy credit. These reactions are great. But this is how everyone played back in the day. This is how you played Street Fighter competitively back in the day. It wasn't pattern play. It was actually react to everything your opponent did, punish it. Today, in Street Fighter V, people barely ever did it because the game was made to be a slow-mo, laggy game. And now, with Street Fighter 6, we may be going back to it being more based on actual, reacting to what you see, execution, not just playing a pattern. That's cool. So I guess we'll see what happens. I want variety, That's what I'm looking for. Variety in the game. Not every character feels the same. Do I think loss of physical media is a good or bad thing? It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag, and we could go on about that at length today, and we just don't have time. Sorry, Lanuli. The damn man says, do you hate Walmart? If so, why? Do I hate Walmart? No. Has Walmart actively, concretely, and undeniably led to the downfall of local businesses in the United States? Yes. Does shopping at Walmart support a megalo corporation that has been 1,000,000% proven to not be a positive influence on Americans? Yes. So, I avoid it. Unless I absolutely would need to go to Walmart for something, I will not go to Walmart. I will completely ignore it. Instead, I will go shop elsewhere. So. Okay. Alright, guys. Let us now end the show. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I had a good time with all of you. Thanks for your interaction. Thanks for your early support for those who did support the stream. It is time to adjourn as we head into the continuous hype and build-up for Street Fighter 6. I hope that many of you are ready, because I will be covering the game in massive detail, at least for the initial week to 2 weeks, depending on how it goes. Hope that you guys are excited for me to get those old throwback vibes of covering a fighting game the way I used to. Of course, this game also has a single-player element that'll be very unique, so I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. And thanks for watching the Level 1 podcast and being a great audience, and I'll see you next time.